What's up, folks? Luke Mullin here with the Lincoln Journal-Star's Rapid Reaction, coming at you from Boulder, Colorado, where the Colorado Buffaloes take down Nebraska today. Pretty close first half, not particularly close after those opening 20 minutes in particular. And I think when you look at this game from a Nebraska perspective, you'll have to look at the missed opportunities. That's something that, we've heard in previous weeks, previous years. It's something that's haunted this team for quite a while. And in particular, this game, first 20 minutes, right where Nebraska wanted to be, 0-0. They were limiting possessions, controlling the clock. The passing game started to pick up some steam. Jeff Sims making some completions to Billy Kemp and a couple drives that came right down here, 20, 30-yard line, getting right there into scoring range. Ultimately, those turnovers, of course, those were the issues. You look at the fumbles, and not fumbles that come, in the case of Anthony Grant last week where, he was 4 or 5 yards downfield, get it punched out by a defender. Today these fumbles were for the most part unforced. Quarterback exchange with the running back, Jeff Sims dropping a couple just normal shotgun snaps, not a whole lot of difference to those same reps, that he's done hundreds and hundreds of times in practice. So you got to question that. What goes into those mistakes? Are they mental issues? And Matt Rule kind of touched on that a little bit in his post-game presser, talking about how it's the same story all over again at those turnovers. It's something that he's been trying to fix. He's committed to fixing them, and he said he's just going to keep on talking about it until they can get those fixed. And of course, those big turnovers in those moments, Nebraska could have gone up 3-0 there in the second quarter. This put a whole lot of strain there on the defense, which, really a tough show for them because they came out here against a really good quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, great skill position players that Colorado has, and I thought they hung in there really, really well in that first half. Of course, those final 5 minutes or whatever, when Colorado had good field position, was able to break off a couple plays. But when Nebraska was controlling the ball, controlling the clock, that just played into the hands of their defense. Quentin Newsome, I thought, played a very excellent game there. He was guarding Travis Hunter for most of the contest. Not an easy job there. And of course, several different wide receivers that Nebraska had to contend with. Xavier Weaver, a couple other guys. They popped a couple 40-yard plays there down the sideline. You look at that, they'll go back on film, see what the defense can do with those plays. But, you just have to imagine if the offense was able to put up some points, keep the pressure off them, some of those mistakes wouldn't have happened. And, the mood around this team is tough. Starting 0-2, this was a game that there was a lot of excitement on. There are a lot of Nebraska fans here, some that, players have been circling this game for a couple months. We've heard that this week, but the way that things ended, fans storming the field, students here, I'll pan around and you can see the goalpost, the two top parts of it have been torn down. Students coming in, having a great riot, and, a great time here on the field, enjoying each other, shaking hands, chest bumps, all sorts of celebrations here on the field. Meanwhile, Nebraska players walk down the tunnel dejected. It's a feeling that they've had quite a few times. In particular, very similar to last week. That was a last-second, field goal for Minnesota to take the win. This one was a slower, more painful one over the course of that second half. But in the end, the result is the same. Turnovers sink Nebraska. Huskers 0-2 to open the Matt Rule era. And now they go back home looking for answers about what happens next.